The Jamaican sun wasn't just light, it was a golden hammer, baking the red earth of Portland Parish to a fine dust. For our crew of kids, speed was freedom, a true video game played on winding, untamed slopes spilling from the Blue Mountains towards the shimmering Caribbean Sea. Our playground was goat paths, eroded gullies, and neglected dirt roads, the air thick with cicadas and the distant throb of reggae. Our core brotherhood included Jahmar, the engineer whose hands knew wood and metal better than his alphabet. Kaleb, the daredevil, all lean muscle and reckless courage. Lena, sharp-eyed and quick-witted, who spotted design flaws nobody else saw. And me, Rohan, the storyteller. Little Mikey, with perpetually scraped knees and infectious giggles, also filled our ranks. Our workshops were clandestine clearance, hidden from watchful parents. Tools were precious, a rusty hacksaw, a hammer, salvaged nails, a dull machete. Raw materials were scavenged, discarded plywood for decks, old bicycle frames for wheels, anything with a bearing, a treasure. Our earliest creations were primal land-luge devices, flat planks, sturdy branch axles, and scrounged wheels. Steering was by foot or precarious laning. Braking was for whatever tree or ditch lay at the end of the run. The hills were characterful. Whispering Ridge for beginners, the Serpent's Coil for tight turns. But the ultimate, the legendary, the one demanding absolute respect was Chalice Down. It was a half-mile stretch of treacherous, steep, unpaved road plummeting from a high plateau, snaking through dense foliage. Its surface was a mosaic of loose stones, embedded rocks, and perilous washboards. It featured blind corners and the leap, where the ground fell away for a terrifying airborne moment before slamming down onto a rocky incline, ending abruptly at a small stream. Conquering Chalice Down on anything less than a sturdy truck was considered borderline insane, and that, of course, was our ultimate goal. The gold card idea, a real trophy, was born after Kaleb's particularly nasty wipeout. Jahmar, ever the practical visionary, found a thin sheet of brass. With meticulous care, using a nail and his machete, he hammered out a perfect rectangle. He etched Chalice Down Master, a space for a name, and our wheel with wings crest. To earn it, he announced, you must complete Chalice Down from top to bottom. No feet on the ground, no stopping, no major wipeouts. You cross the stream at the bottom and it's yours. One gold card, one master. A collective gasp went through the group. It was a quantum leap, an initiation. Our first serious attempt to tame Chalice Down was the Thunderbolt, a robust, low-slung board. Jahmar, with Lena's critical eye, used thick mahogany plywood reinforced with cedar crossbeams from an old fishing boat. Axles were iron pipes. For wheels, he secured 4 worn but solid rubber wheels from an industrial dolly, heavy but incredibly durable. Steering was body English, but Lena suggested a rudimentary foot-controlled rudder bar. Jahmar also devised inner tubes wedged between the board and axles for a whisper of shock absorption. Kaleb, as always, was the first to attempt the full run on the Thunderbolt. We trekked up Chalice Down, memorizing its contours. At the top, the sun beat down, turning the brass gold card into a blinding beacon. Kaleb pushed off. The Thunderbolt gained alarming speed, churning up red dust. He cleared the first curve beautifully, leaning into it. He hit a patch of loose stones. The board bucked violently. For a terrifying moment, it looked like he would lose it, but Kaleb, with a grunt, wrestled it back into line, knuckles white. He approached the leap, and for a fraction of a second, the Thunderbolt was airborne, a dark blur. He landed hard, the suspension groaning, but held on. Down he flew, navigating the final twists and turns, a blur of motion and courage. With a final surge, he crossed the narrow rocky stream at the bottom, skidding to a halt. A cheer erupted, a collective shout of relief and pure joy. Jahmar, with solemn reverence, presented the gold card. Kaleb traced the etched words. In his eyes, in all our eyes, it shined brighter than any precious metal. But one gold card was not enough. Lena, watching Kaleb, saw both glory and imperfections. The Thunderbolt is good, she said, but we can make something faster, something safer. And so the evolution continued. The bike, the Charger, was the next iteration, not a pedal bike, but a gravity bike. An old Hercules frame was cut and re-welded by Jahmar, making it lower, longer, more stable for downhill speed. Handlebars were from a defunct motorcycle. The biggest improvement, old moped wheels with pneumatic tires for grip, speed, and cushioning. The most revolutionary addition, born from Lena's insistence, was a proper brake, a rudimentary disc brake cobbled from a truck rotor and a vice grip caliper. Heavy and clunky, but it was a brake. Lena herself was the Charger's first rider. She sat upright, her feet on pegs, giving her better visibility and leverage over the handlebars and brake. She wore an old Quicket helmet, a testament to her pragmatism. She pushed off. The Charger, with its superior wheels and brakes, accelerated with smooth, terrifying efficiency. Lena was a blur of concentration, taking the first curve wider, faster than Kaleb, her body almost parallel to the ground. The moped tires bit into the earth. She plowed through the loose stones that had nearly claimed Kaleb. Then came the leap. Lena didn't just clear it, she seemed to float over it, landing with a confident thump. The real difference was in the final tight turns. She feathered the crude disc brake, shaving off terrifying momentum, allowing her to take turns with precision and speed. She flowed down the hill, dancing with it. When she crossed the stream, her speed was immense. She braked hard, tires kicking up water and mud, bringing the Charger to a controlled, powerful halt. Faster, she announced, face flushed with adrenaline. Jahmar, beaming, etched Lena's name on the second gold card. The pantheon of Chalice Down masters was growing. But the ultimate, the true embodiment of freedom and agility was the skateboard. Not the Thunderbolt, but a board inspired by mythical American prose. It was a plank shaped with a concave curve, kicktail, and, after Jahmar spent weeks bartering, mangoes, roof repairs, Miss Ivy's garden, genuine polyurethane skateboard wheels, and proper trucks. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was an extension of the rider's body, demanding pure balance, agility, and connection to motion. No straps, handlebars, or brakes beyond the feet. It was just you and the hill. And the fear. Little Mikey, smallest and youngest, to everyone's astonishment, volunteered. We tried to dissuade him. "Mikey, it's too dangerous," Kaleb warned. "No brakes," Lena added. But Mikey was resolute, his small face set with determination. "I can do it," he said, clutching the edges of the handmade skateboard. "I feel the hill. I feel the board." We watched him go. A tentative start, wobbling slightly on the Gold Rider. But as he gained speed, something remarkable happened. Mikey didn't just ride the board, he danced with it. His knees bent and straightened, his body swayed, anticipating every dip, every rise, every treacherous stone. He carved through the air, his feet never leaving the board, his small frame a blur of fluid motion. He floated over the loose stones where Kaleb had wobbled. When he reached the leap, he didn't just go over it, he launched off it, a small, triumphant leap into the air, landing softly, perfectly, as if the board were an extension of his tiny feet. The sheer audacity, the unexpected grace stunned us into silence. Jahmar, his own eyes wide with wonder, slowly, carefully, etched Mikey's name onto the third gold card. It was pure magic, a testament that courage came in all sizes. The 3 gold cards now sat together on a polished piece of driftwood in our hidden workshop. Kaleb, the pioneer of raw courage, Lena, the master of engineered control, and Mikey, the prodigy of pure, unadulterate flow. Each card represented a philosophy, a victory against the limits of what we thought was possible. Our gold cards. Not actual gold, but forged in the heat of the Jamaican sun, tempered by the challenges of the earth, polished by the sweat of ingenuity, and shining with the irrefutable truth of natural fun. No video game could ever replicate the roar of the wind, the fear in the pit of your stomach, the rush of triumph, and the bond of friendship from building your own dreams and riding them down the steepest hill you could find. This, we knew, was the real treasure.